Wisconsin. It's not just what T-Pain famously rhymed mansion with. It's also a place. A place where two people live named Simon and Hannah. Two people who last night Skyped me and said, we want you to try making breakfast nachos. Which meant that I called up my frittata that I was planning on making and told him to shove it because he was the Italian off-brand version of an omelet. So tonight we're making breakfast nachos. Roll the credits! So the first step for these nachos is figuring out exactly what breakfast carb to use for nachos. I wanted to use potatoes, but then I thought that seems a little bit too breakfast adjacent, so I went with flaky pastry. I have here some Great Value and Pillsbury Doughboy pizza crust that makes a great thick crust. So what I'm going to do is spread it out on here. I've taken some tape, just put it straight across my counter, gently moistened the top of the tape so it won't get too sticky. This is what you do when you don't have flour in your home. Your boy's trying to cut out his gluten. I'm one of those people now, Zach.
I hate you so much.
And then you're going to want to get it nice and rolled, which is when you realize you don't have a fucking roller. Alright, we're going to have to science the shit out of this. Aluminum foil.
So you're going to use the tube and the foil?
Sort of. This way, it won't start unraveling into my dough. Maybe. I can't believe this is actually sort of working.
It's kind of working, yeah.
Oh, God damn it.
There it goes.
I may have spoken too soon.
As CinemaSins would say, premature celebration.
Ooh, yes. Roll it out. Get it nice and thin. This expands when it cooks because of all the leavening agents. So I'm going to want to get it nice and thin before I then start taking this bad boy out. I'm going to roll it, and then I'm going to brush the top of these with egg yolk, season them a little bit, and then put them on a baking pan. So we're going to start off doing this. And then I'm going to stop talking so we can start speeding this up, because it's going to take a second. This reminds me actually when I was in preschool and teachers, I was just bad patterns. I was like, she's a 4. You know what I mean? Okay, cut. Alright, now once they're all sliced up and separated, you're going to take your one beaten egg. You're going to toss in a little bit of seasoning. So we're going to use onion powder. And then the salt of the garlic. That's garlic powder. Fuck it. What's done is done. Stir that up. And then you're going to want to gently take like a forkful and just brush it across the tops of each one. This is why I use the tape on the counter. Otherwise, it's going to get messy. So whenever I'm on it. This is first beer, Zack. You're my leader. Alright, so once you got that taken care of, you can then move them to the well-oiled cooking pan that you've already laid out for just such an occasion. Now, can you lay this out properly into straight geometric shapes? Yeah, you can. But I don't know how to do things straight like that. I was raised by lesbians. Ba-boom! Now you ready? We're speeding it up. Go! So we've got my oven preheated to 350 degrees, about 350, and we're going to put all of these in onto the bottom shelf. I have no clue how long it takes them to cook because all the instructions are for cooking it as an actual pizza dough, so we gonna wing it. I'm gonna set it for 5 minutes and just see where we're at after that. All right, we're gonna use the last ones onto a separate baking tray that you have prepared just in case you had too much. And we're gonna lay those out next to them. And again, we're gonna put these in for about 5 minutes. I'm not sure exactly how long it takes, and they're smushed this flat and covered in egg. So, it's like when Paul McCartney sings, Zach, we're winging it. Yeah! He might murder me. Then we're going to take up a jalapeno that I've sliced into thin slices, hence the name, for just such an occasion, and we're going to just sort of lay that out next to them. It's going to have time to bake down, which is going to cook off some of the excess heat and really mellow out the flavor. Fun fact for you here that they're hiding from you, big pepper, I mean. If you smoke a jalapeno pepper, you have what is known as a chipotle pepper. Yeah. Chipotle peppers are just dried and smoked jalapeno peppers.
I did not know that.
Yeah, right? Blew my tiny mind.
Man, that's just like garbanzo beans and chickpeas.
Exactly. Everyone in food is lying to you kids. Question all authority. Alright, next up for the eggs. A lot of people say you should break your egg like this on the side of the bowl, which can work for some people, but it also can drive the shells inward, which means you're more likely to get shells in your egg. I got lucky that time, but stay warned. Gordon Ramsay, the master, recommends you just straight up crack them on the counter and then go like that. So, that's how we're doing it. This is a Gordon Ramsay approved food show. Actually, it's not, we're not affiliated with him. I want to make that very clear because he has a lot of money for lawyers. Where are the rebels hiding? Talk, damn you! Talk! You gotta keep yourself entertained. Dash in another bit of onion powder. Some ground white pepper. And then a little bit of 1% milk. Not a lot, just a 3/4. 1, 2, 3. Then you take out a mixing spoon. Oh, whisk. Even better, haven't used this. And then you whisk them. Crush each yolk. Crush their dreams. Like you're a Midwestern father whose son wants to be in the theater. And then when you don't overbeat them, but when it's nice and consistent like that, then you are ready for the stove. I'm also going to add a big bowl of sliced up onions and peppers. We're going to toss it on a different burner so they can lightly saute, so we have some actual vegetables in this mountain of nachos I'm going to make. So we're going to start off with the eggs in here. This burner. We've done a decent job of oiling up the pan. Now, if you got a higher heat on, make sure you keep it low. Go low and slow with eggs. And then we're going to start scrambling them in a second. Meanwhile, this one has been on for a second as well. And I add a little bit more ham. Got a lot of burners going at once right now. A lot of irons in the fire. Because I did not plan this out ahead of time. Because that's not nearly as fun. So take those. Dump them there, let them saute themselves down. So you're going to want to keep the eggs just a little bit in motion, otherwise the parts that solidify in the bottom of the pan will start cooking at a different degree than the stuff that's the soup on the top. So right now you're going to have a little bit of downtime. Use that to just slowly move your eggs around. You can see there's little pieces that are cooking from the bottom that are getting dragged up to the top from me sort of trawling right now. Trawling's a fun word.
That's a good word to use.
Not trolling, like kids on the internet calling me lame for posting my passions. We don't respond to those trolls, but trawling, like a fishing trawler. The other trolls make me cry sometimes. All right, the first round is out of the oven. and it looks like they've cooked pretty decent, so they've got a little bit of give to them. Not super crunchy, but they're crisp on the bottom. So what we're gonna do now is just take these out, make sure they're all okay, and then just toss them into this bowl where they will remain warming on the stove until we can start piling the actual ingredients on top of it. Right now, oh look, this one's shaped like Kentucky. Weird. This one's not shaped like anything.
It's like a Carolina.
It does. Looks like the Carolinas had a bastard son. This looks like Rhode Island, but with a little island. Anyways, we now have the base of it done, so we can begin building our nachos abomination on top of it. Now let's check back on those eggs. So now that the eggs are mostly finished, I'm going to take a bag of Colby Jack cheese, and we're going to sprinkle that fairly liberally across the top of the egg. Just kind of let it melt into each other. I'm going to be using a couple of different other cheeses, plus a super secret surprise ingredient to make a cheese sauce that will drizzle over the top of everything at the end. So once you got that, just start moving it around, really let it gel in with the rest of it. It's like a group project. Force them to get close to each other. So we can put that right off to the side there. Gonna check on these bad boys. Oh, you hear that sizzle? That's that zest. All right, so now we can pull these out of the oven. Here's how the other ones look. Along with our newly minted chipotle peppers, no longer are they jalapeno peppers. Yep, we got the same kind of consistency on these. I didn't pass these down just as hard, so they're a little bit fluffier. All right, now to make up the basis of the cheese sauce, we're gonna take that remaining third of an egg that I used to brush the tops of the biscuits with it. We're gonna add in about half a cup of milk. Actually, you know, we're gonna have 2/3 of a cup of milk in here. Fractions are difficult. And honestly, I don't measure a whole lot of stuff. Just vibes. Eyeball it, kids. You can do it. Believe in yourself. Gonna add in about 5 ounces of Greek Huikos yogurt. Then we're gonna add in a handful of sharp cheddar cheese, Colby Jack cheese, and a smaller handful of mozzarella cheese. Because the Italians haven't won this round, damn it. We're gonna take that and just gently stir it all in together. Like so. And once it's all nice and mixed together, we're gonna take that and we're going to put it on top of a stove to lightly simmer. You don't want to simmer this too hard, otherwise the yogurt breaks down. You're gonna want to get it nice and melty together. So now the eggs are all pretty much done and melted together into the cheese. We're gonna take it with another container. I really need to buy more bowls. And then just dump those in here. We're also gonna let those kick off to the side and just stay nice and warm while we make everything else around them. There's gonna be egg residue left inside on here, but eggs and cheese are all the same thing if you're a vegan. So it doesn't really matter if you have a little bit left over. Get all your bits and biscuits there. We're gonna one more time spray it down. Maybe, if we have any more Pam left. That's close enough for government work. Then we're going to gently spoon in, or just dump really, your cheese mixture. It will look nasty. That's how all cheese sauce is. Cheese is not meant to be in a sauce, but humans find a way. So I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna put that on a low setting. And we're just gonna gently move the cheese about so it's really up in there in that milk. Did you hear that whoosh?
Yes, I did.
Huh. Well, doesn't matter, I rent. Off the burner right here. And then this should be just about ready to go as well. Lightly caramelized and steamed, so they still have that crunch, but they don't have that hard bite that onions are known for. Shake that together. Boom, we've got that, we've got that, we've got that. I'm gonna let the cheese sauce cool in on itself. And then I'm going to start assembling my nacho platter. Got the sausage, the eggs, the biscuits, a little bit of loose cheese, my jalapenos, and my peppers. All right, next up, plating this bitch. Almost forgot one important aspect of the full English breakfast. Country-style beans with extra bacon and brown sugar into them. We're gonna dump that into the onion can, or into the onion pan. Who's your daddy? And let them warm it up. They already came pre-cooked, so it's pretty much just a spread them and dead them. We're gonna give them a couple minutes to get going. Meanwhile, the actual plating begins now. So now we have our platter that my friend Mary from work got me. We're gonna take a layer of these along the bottom. And then from there, we're going to crumble up some sausage. Wash your hands before you do this, kids. And then toss that over the bottom layer, which we will then supplant with a layer of vegetables. And then from there, a nice layer of egg into this drying time. Some chipotles, a little bit of Kobe Jack. And then we're going to go ahead and slow this whole operation down and repeat ourselves. Should I have used a different implement? Yes. Is it too late to go back now? Also yes. Peppers on. The baked beans are starting to pop. I'm going to put one extra layer of what we've got back on. You're going to want to be careful at the bottom of this. The eggs have had time to sort of fold in on themselves, and if they're light and fluffy, the combined weight of the egg mass can in fact make them squished. That's the technical science term. I'm going to go back over to the baked beans. Don't let them cook too long, otherwise that sugar starts to caramelize and burn. Smoking. We're going to take those, not over the whole thing, but just in the corner right here. Flatten that out nicely. So we're going back to the cheese sauce now. As you can see, it's starting to get gooey. We're going to want to let it melt together a little bit more. It's at just the right heat so that the flavors are melding together without the culture in the yogurt breaking. It's right now got the consistency of really runny grits. We're going to let it thicken up just a little bit as more of the liquid cooks off. I'm also going to add some more cheese into it. I'm going to use mainly the sharp cheddar because it's going to help yellow up the color. And cheese sauce and nachos should be aggressively, if not weirdly, yellow. That's just science. All right, we're gonna let that one cook off for a second, and then we'll drizzle all that over the top of it, and then we'll be good to go. All right, for next time, we're gonna use a little bit less milk because it's still a little bit runnier than I would like. But I think it is ready for drizzling. We're gonna take our breakfast nacho platter and then just all right, there you have it, folks. We have one primo platter of breakfast nachos. Zack and I are going to share this while we edit this video, but first bite, here we go. Oh, yes, get all of it in there. Bone up the teeth.